What's up, everybody? Let's get the party started, baby. Let's get it rolling.
Cruising down the back roads, windows roll low, with the music blasting, bass and that flow. Remembering the bonfire, laughing with my crew, jamming on the corner, soaking up the view. Every beat's a memory, every song's a spark, feeling so alive, yeah, out here in the dark. Cranking up the radio, rolling through life, loving making memories, music cranes high. Do you feel that freedom? Can you hear the call? Those back road memories calling to us all. The dreams are still burning, laughter is the same, sound still echo loud, can you hear that name? Life was so electric, every day a song, hearts on the highway, we that do no wrong. Chasing every sunset, world spin around, living for the moment, man, we're going down. I can feel that fire still burning in my soul, when nobody's watching, I bring my rock and roll. Those back road memories.
What's up, Jason?
Calling to us all.
PSC Mentalist.
Calling to us all. Down the back roads.
What's up, guys? What is up this fine Sunday evening? It is 7 o'clock and time for car audio enthusiasts to gather around and discuss car audio. And we have a little bit to talk about today. The first thing I want to do, though, before we get started is get this out of the way because this is important to me. El Fuego is in the hospital again. He's not doing all that well, and he needs you guys' support. So if you're a religious person, be sure to throw up some prayers for El Fuego. Any other means you have of helping him out or giving him some kind of support. He needs all he can get. And there we go with that. And as far as his condition and all that sort of stuff, I'm going to leave all that out there because, it's not my business. I don't know what all he wants everybody to know. So I'm just going to say that he's not doing well. And he could use the support, at least something. You know what I'm saying? Something. But on to a little bit brighter note. So I've started ordering stuff. I started ordering stuff a while back, but I've started getting in stuff for the door build on the Tahoe, and I've been tossing around ideas. You guys have seen the pictures. You've seen the video, I'm sure. The ones that are here for the live show definitely have seen the video on me talking about what I'm going to do in the doors. And I'm still up in the air a little bit, but I've kind of got some ideas. So hang on a second here. Can I do that? It won't let me do that. Wait a minute. There we go. So this, yeah, that's getting big, was the idea that I had to start with. And that's after I rendered that in paint, actually. I pulled a picture of a door off of eBay and then did that in paint. I'm still kind of impressed at how good it looks doing it in paint. I wish I had Photoshop 7.0 again. I've lost it and I can't find the file. Anyway, you guys will see how I've got this laid out. This is kind of what I'm going to do, but not exactly. This is a two-dimensional. Well, it's a three-dimensional panel, but so basically in this picture, you've got this one part that comes back here and goes up to here. Then there'll be another one of those right in here in this area, a little triangle that'll be on this plane. And then this would actually be on a higher plane, closer to the center of the vehicle, moving in, away from the door, with the tweeter, the mid, and the 10 down here. I'm going to have this configuration, uh, but the problem with this is this area down here is not the same level as this area. This is actually pretty thick. And then it thins out down in here. It changes there's a dimension that you can't see, not that third dimension is kind of wonky to do this. And so I decided I'm going to do it with fiberglass. Now, I may build something very similar to this to go under the fiberglass. I've got some rings ordered, but I may end up having to build them because they're not going to get here till kind of late. But I may end up doing something like this with the rings. And putting them in there, or a plate like this with all the speakers. But if I do either one, I'm wanting to angle the speakers up in this direction, like that direction, or at least angle them toward the driver position, like angle them this way, if you will, so that they're pointed somewhat this way. Um, this way or this way. I want them to kind of fire in those directions. That's what I got in my brain. And ultimately, if I do it in fiberglass, I'll be able to do that much easier. And also, the shape of everything with that three-dimensional shape, it's bad. Wait, is El Fuego in the chat? Hold on. Wait a minute. What am I missing here? No, I don't see him in the chat. I was like, what the hell? Because PSC was saying hey to Jason and El Fuego, but I don't see El Fuego in the chat. I thought I lost my mind there for a second. Okay. Anyway, so that's the idea, is to do fiberglass because of all the weird curves and stuff that are in the door panel. It doesn't fit right. That flat panel it's going to be extremely difficult to make that work on that heely surface. That's the idea. Surface has heels, but that would be flat and it wouldn't quite fit. So we're going to do rings, ring, and then fiberglass with fleece and all that stuff. If you guys are wondering where I learned to fiberglass, because I haven't done only fiberglass that I've done in my entire life is one, I fiberglassed a gas tank when I was a teenager. The whole end of it had rusted out. It was on an old Chevy truck and had that plastic cover on the end, and dirt had got up in there and rusted the whole end of that tank out. And I made the end of the tank again with fiberglass, and it worked perfectly. It's great. But I did that, and then whenever I was doing the wall on the Tahoe, I fiberglassed the sides of the wall, connected them to the Tahoe to seal it off. That's my 2 times I fiberglassed in my whole entire life. Now I'm going to do something with a whole lot more flair. But I've watched a ton of fiberglass videos before I did the wall, and most of the stuff I watched before I did the wall was on a couple of different boat channels where they build custom boats, because those guys, that's fiberglass, they work with it constantly. But the most knowledge I've gained for what we do is by watching the guys over at Sprayway Customs. That guy, Sprayway Customs, that guy's a freaking artist. He is absolutely phenomenal at fiberglass and paint and body work and all that stuff. And the way he does it is how I'm planning on doing it, basically. So essentially, what you do is you lay out the rings on the existing door, right? Lay them out the way you're going to run them, block them up, get them locked in position. You stretch your fleece, get your fleece all stapled down and attached to the door and to the rings. Then you fiberglass resin the entire fleece, and then you build in chop mat and stuff behind it and on top of it to build the thickness up with actual fiberglass. That's essentially it in a nutshell. The thing I'm going to add to it, since I'm putting in a really heavy driver down there, and even that's not the only reason. There's other reasons, but I'm going to be making this very strong. So I want to come in behind there and do some attachments that'll go from the door to the glass in multiple places to give this shell a really, really, really rigid base to sit on. And it's going to get stapled like a freaking psychopath. I mean, I'm going crazy with the staples. I've learned that from the last time I fiberglass. Wherever you staple through that fleece, right, into whatever material, that is a large portion of what locks that two materials together. Once you create that fiberglass shell, it's both locked to the material by sticky and also by the staples that you ran through that material to begin with. So we're going to staple it a lot. Let's get in the chat a little bit and see what's going on in here, because I already saw you guys speaking. Let's see. PSC said, "What's up?" Jason, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Get well, Fuego. Yeah, buddy. No doubt, man. Jason said, "Oh, your door's not loud enough." They're loud enough, but that doesn't mean that they're loud enough. No, what I want is something I've never had. Okay, I faked it with a sub in the front of my vehicle. I've got a sub up there in the center console up under the dash. That's done the thing. But I want the lows up front. So I want, whenever I have the vocals, I want the powerful, low, in-your-face vocals, toms and drums. I want them to sound stereo and come from the front of the vehicle and just really come back in your face. That's what I want. It's not really loud. It's more certain frequencies louder than, I can get the vocals, what you would call mids. I can get those loud enough to keep up with my subs right now, but I want more that low end power, that low end authority to come from my front. And also I want to stiffen the doors so they're not absorbing so much SPL off my wall. Right now, they're just big old plastic floppy sponges that are just absorbing everything. It's counterproductive. And they also wiggle and move and have some rattles in them and stuff. And all that crap is about to go away. I'm going to get rid of all those problems at once. I've also got some sound deadener. I'm going to do some extra sound deadening on the metal skin. It's already sound deadened, but I'm going to do more. I want more. So, yeah, a whole lot of things happening. A whole lot of things happening. Decent, how's it going, bud? Decent, that's all. It almost looks like my traverse doors. Yeah, that's the other thing. You see a lot of builds where, and I think they're beautiful, okay, but it's not my jam. You see a lot of builds where you have tons of speakers on a door. They'll be like 8 speakers or 5 speakers or 6 speakers or 12 speakers or more on a door. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but except for one thing. a large portion of those drivers are firing directly at the seat and everything. They're not even remotely firing in the direction of the person's ears. And so it's like speakers because there's space, right? It looks like, it always reminds me of when you go to a car audio shop and you see the demo wall where they have all the different speakers on the wall so that you can listen to the ones you want to hear, you know? It reminds me of that. It's like a big car audio store in a car. Um, it's a show, it's a visual thing, but I don't think it's a good sound thing. I mean, maybe it does sound fine. I don't know. The point is, it's not my jam. I want to be loud, yes, but I also want to sound good. And I want to put speakers in the place where they're going to create the right sound field. I want my sound field to be up front. I want my stage to be up front. Even whenever I got the subs playing, I want you to feel like you're sitting at a concert and the concert's happening in front of you. So you're getting all that sound coming in. The subs are still going to be blowing your hat off from the back, but I want that sound stage to be in the front. I don't always listen to my shit full tilt boogie. I like to listen to SQ. I like to listen to rock and roll. I like to listen to yacht rock, you know. I like to listen to Steely Dan and 38 Special and, you know, freaking Lionel Richie and The Time and, you know, whatever, Pink Floyd. I like to listen to a whole lot of stuff. And that's what I'm jamming. I'll have it cranked, but I want that sound stage to be there. So I want some more. I've never had really big honking speakers up in the front to where I can get that, and I want that. That's what I want, and I'm going to make it happen. So, um, PSC says, "Hey Jason, El Fuego," and that's where he screwed me up because he's talking about El Fuego. El Fuego was not here at the time I looked. Throwing up prayers. Thank you, man. I'm sure he appreciates it. Doors look good, D says. Uh, PSC said he'll be back in KU Medical in 3 weeks. Man, that sucks. Bobby B says, sorry, Garrett. That sucks, man. It really does. Much love and appreciation. Rick Ross is in the house. He said, what's up, CAE? What's up, Rick? Nice to see you in the house, my friend. Uh, D. Hermanson, Mini Trucker 88, just did a great video on this. I'll have to look him up. Sprayway Customs is my dude, man. This guy is so good. I mean, he is so good. He does stuff that's just unfreaking real, guys. If you haven't already Googled him by now, do it. Trust me on this. His work is phenomenal. Um, I saw those mids. I saw your unboxing. Those things are big. I'm just hoping I have enough room on my door panels for my 6.8s and 5s. Uh, the 10s, these 10s in here are, hell, they're every bit of 20 pounds. They're absolutely absurd, man. They're freaking massive. And they have 3-inch voice coils, 500-watt RMS, 3-inch voice coils. What the hell, man? They're absolutely overbuilt like crazy. And the guys at Slapz, they're crazy people, and I love them. I hit them up for some tens, and I was asking for the 700-watt max 350-watt. They sent me the 500s instead, the bigger ones. Of course they did. And they're crazy guys. But you guys are going to see a lot of this. There's going to be a few videos on this door build, and I hope I can do a good job. I'm scared to death, to be perfectly honest, because I only have the one pair of panels to work with, and I want to basically destroy them in the process. So I'm scared, but you know what? It's you got to just put one foot in the water, and then you put the other one in, and you just keep going because there ain't no going back. And I'm going to do it, but it is scaring me. So I'm taking my time and getting all the knowledge I can as I go. Let's see here. Jason said, "Don't forget thumbs up, everyone." Yeah, absolutely, man. Be sure and hit that like button. That's what makes the rhythm go around. Um, let's see here. Where are we at? I lost track of everything. Thumbs up, Rick. Um, oh yeah, and PSC's talking about his unboxing. Yeah, he did a good job, man. That's going to be really cool. I love my Slapz equipment. Very underrated, sir. That's a statement. That statement is underrated. It's surprising how good the stuff is. So today, I shot a video about a little battery charger I got. That'll be going up. You guys can check it out. I also have some bonus footage in that video that's not about a battery charger. You'll have to watch the video to find that. Um, and I could have ran it live earlier, but I didn't because I was getting ready to go live. I don't want you guys watching the video while you're, while I'm running a live. So there's that. Um, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was reading PSC's message. 38 Special Heart has a second chance. Oh, dude, I jam out Chicago 38 Special, REO Speedwagon. It just goes on and on and on. I love it. Culture Club. I even like a lot of Culture Club. Very good music. I know dude's a cross-dressing, person, and whatever his sexual preferences were. Beyond that, the recordings and the music that he puts down, the vocals he lays down, everything is phenomenal. I do dig some Culture Club. Sinead O'Connor. I mean, I just listen to all kind of stuff. I'm not a one-trick pony, man. I'm a totally different type of person than that. Um, oh yeah, 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 yeah. D said he's got a couple of the full bridge 8Ks. Yeah, that's what I'm running right now is a single 8K. They're basically based on. They're essentially a copy of the Sundown Full Bridge 8,000 watt amps. That whole line that looks like that's that kind of a style is that whole line is based off of Sundown amps. They're copies of Sundown amps, the Sundown Full Bridge amps, and they're great amps. They really are, especially considering the price because it's hard to beat the price at Slapz, man. And I'm all about it. I'm all about good quality at a reasonable price. That's something that's hard to get a hold of. Ain't nobody in here from Facebook today. Wait a minute. I see anybody? Nobody's showing up from Facebook. I throw it out there, man, but not a lot of people comment from Facebook. It's kind of a thing. Rick, Adrian finally said, "What's up?" Bass says, "What's up, Adrian?" Um, yeah, exactly. That makes total sense to me. Why pay more? Yeah, why not buy a version that's less expensive and get the same thing? You know, I mean, come on. So like we all buy, you buy some generic stuff at the grocery store, right? Like, hey man, look, I'll show you right here. Okay, corn chips. You know what? These taste exactly like Fritos, and they're about half the price. So, and my wife, she's all about it. So here's some more cheese crunch. I don't eat these though because they get all over my damn hands. My wife brought these things in here to me the other day, and they're still in here. This is actually my current poison right here. These guys, and these are the Planters, sweet and spicy. They don't taste like nothing but peanuts the first few you eat, but after about that first handful, you start to taste them, and they got just the tiniest bit of a bite to them, and a tiniest bit. They're actually really good. You can't stop eating them. This was one setting. I ate most of this jar in one setting. I was on a roll. So there's that. Peanuts is good. I can't eat much potato chips anymore because it jacks up my blood sugar, and that's what this thing is for. This is a blood sugar pen. There's insulin and an injector and needles and everything that go in there. So I'm having to watch all that. And guys, my blood sugar is doing better. I know we were talking about that a little bit. So I started out at 575, but the last 7 times I've checked it, it's been less than 200. It's been down at like 112, 160, 130, numbers like that. So I'm keeping up with it. That's going well. And the overall numbers coming down. That's a plus. I'm trying to take care of myself some. We're not perfect human beings, but um, that price slaps. Hell yeah, man. Um, for real, it does. Uh, yeah, they really do taste exactly the same. There's no difference. You could not tell the difference in between the two. I mean, I'm picky about some stuff like chicken and dumplings. I used to eat sweet stew, nothing but sweet stew. Now they taste like hot garbage. So I'm on a Swanson. I prefer Swanson chicken and dumplings now. They taste great. So just knowing that, we move on forward. But yeah, I'm picky about certain foods, but most of the time, generic stuff's fine, man. Um, but I got this battery charger, and $21 is what it costs on Amazon. And the question is, does it work? And how well does it work? It works damn good. Uh, but yeah, the video is coming up. Y'all can check it out. Uh, hey man, I did the best I can, brother. I did the best I can. It's like you know, it seems like the world is out to get you whenever you're young and moving through life. But the truth is, you're out to get yourself. I mean, you think about every single time you've had something bad happen to you in your entire life. If you dig a little bit, you figure out every single time you had a part in making that happen, if not the direct cause of it. You're your own worst enemy, man. And so it isn't that life shits on you, it's that you shit on yourself. Um, it's just the truth. And once you accept the fact that you're your own worst enemy and that you are the cause of all the stupid crap that's happened to you, you can work on fixing it. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're trying to blame the world for your problems, you're never going to get anywhere. It's always going to be somebody else's fault. Once you accept it's your fault and you're responsible for it, then you can sort it out. And I've had to do that in my life. That's something I've had to learn. And not everybody gets it. Not everybody will admit to it yet, but eventually you will get to it. Uh, but so, what do you guys think about the doors? What's y'all's input? I want to know what y'all are thinking about. I got so get some questions going, comments. Uh, I've got 500 watt, the 4 channel, 2000 watt Slapz amp coming. It's 500 watts per channel. Um, the thing is, at 500 watts per channel, drivers, we're looking at probably 250 watts per driver. The drivers are rated at 500 watts RMS. They're not going to have any problem handling 250 watts. Now, if I take that 500 watt amp and I bridge the two channels into a 2 channel, I can get 1,000 watts output um, at 4 ohms on 2 channels, and then at the 8 ohms, I should get around 500 watts on the drivers. But to be honest, I don't think I'm going to need anywhere close to that much power to get as loud as I want to get. So I'll probably just run it at a 4 channel, and let it run the front, the two tens on 2 of the channels, and then the 2 6.5s on 2 of the channels. And then I'm going to use one of the 160 watt by 4 channels I have to run the tweeters on. So for the first time in a long time, I'm going to have a completely, totally active front stage. I'll be running the, take that back. I've got actually going to have 8 speakers up there, 8 separate channels. I can probably cross, you know what? Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll cross the 6.5s over at around 300 hertz and up, and I can put them on the same channel with the 3.5s on the 8 pillars. They'll be on the same DSP channel. I just have to make sure they're about the same distance from my skull so that I can time align them on that channel. That way I'll have I'll have mostly active 3-way. I'll have a 3-way with one of them will have two different speakers. I think I can make that work. I'll have to figure it out. I don't know. Maybe I'll pull them. Maybe I'll pull the A pillars out. It depends. I'm gonna listen to it without them and see what it sounds like. And if it kicks and thumps like I think it's going to, I may not need the A pillars. I'll probably just leave them in there. They just won't be on, which is funny because I did a test. So I had some people. This is what I had a setup going in there, and I had 6.5s and tweeters in the doors, and the A pillars were there, but they weren't hooked up. And people were commenting on how they sounded. They weren't on, but the sound stage was lifted so much that it sounded like sound was coming from them, and they were commenting on it. And whenever I had them out for a short period of time, people were saying they missed me having them in. They liked it better when I had them in, literally listening to the same exact stuff. They were hearing the same sound, but their brain was telling them that there was no speaker up there. So that was a weird thing. Psychologically, having those drivers up on the A pillars seems to make everything sound better, even if they're not on. The world's a fucked up place, man. I mean, what are you going to do? So, and that battery charger I got still blowing my mind. $21, dude. You may say, well, the price of everything has gone up over the years, right? You take $21 and go back into the 1960s or 70s or whatever and try to buy a battery charger of any kind, and you're not going to get one. They just don't exist at that price. So some stuff, the price has come way down, and that's most of the stuff that comes from China. All the computer parts and stuff. A CD-ROM, right, that goes in a computer, they play a CD. Just a regular old CD-ROM, not a DVD-ROM, not a DVD-R, not a DVD-RW, none of that, just a CD-ROM. When those things first came out, they were over $1,000 to put one of those in a computer, to play a CD in a computer, $1,000. And toward the end, when there were still tons of them on the internet, you could pick one up for $5 off of Amazon, or $10 off of Newegg or Tiger Direct or any of those sites. $5 or $10, and get a DVD, not just a CDR, but a DVD RW with 10 times faster than the original for a tiny fraction of how much it cost. So the price went down, 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 down. Same thing with car audio. Car audio is cheaper now than it's ever been, and it's better. Nostalgia guys be like, "Oh man, they don't make it like they used to," but no, they don't. It's actually better. We may have liked the old stuff more because that was from our day, in our heyday when we were all experiencing it for the first time. It was better because we were experiencing it for the first time. In reality, it was inefficient. It had lots of noise. It was prone to failures and all kinds of weird problems. And the stuff that's on the market right now is more stable, more reliable, sounds better, uses less power. Everything is better. It's just 100% better equipment. Um, it just doesn't hit that nostalgia button like the old stuff does. And if you see it in the background right now, let me pull the chat out here. Y'all see in the background, I'll shrink myself down. Maybe. Can't really see it. It's not getting small enough. But my background is, yeah, you can kind of see it. See all these amps in the wall back here? This is at Rick's Car Audio in Crane, Missouri. That's his fold out wall. He's got all these old school amps back there. It's cool stuff, man. So cool. Um, D said, I really like the doors. Thank you, D. Hopefully, I can get them to look at least close to that good. Um, yeah, yeah, no doubt. Thanks, man. Um, Jason said technology and microchips have advanced massively. MOSFETs are more powerful and cheaper than ever. Yeah, the amplifier is cheaper. Like I said, you can any way you measure. Okay, if you actually measure and test the equipment, any way you measure it, like if you measure it on an audio meter that listens to the sound, if you measure it on anything that measures output on amplifiers, the new stuff, even the cheaper new stuff, is just better. It's better in every way. Cars are better. It's like everybody says, well, they don't make cars like they used to. Well, no, you used to have to basically get rid of them by about 100,000 miles and they were done. If they lasted 5 or 10 years, that was amazing. If you rolled over the odometer past 100,000 miles, that was epic. Now it's standard procedure to roll that odometer over multiple times in 100,000s, multiple 100,000s of miles. My Tahoe's got 240,000 miles on it. Doesn't leak a drop of oil, doesn't require anything except for gas and a key. It just works, you know, and that's the case for most vehicles. It's so we do it better now than we ever have. Nostalgia just tells you a different story, you know. Um, that wall is great. Yeah, dude, you haven't seen anything. So what you see in the wall, see if my finger will even go. All of this area over here is a page. This over here is a page. The wall has multiple pages. Like you can open up one and it's got a whole row of amplifiers and amplifiers. You can open up another one. There's amplifiers and it's like pages in a book. And what you're seeing is just 2 pages opened up. That's it. There's like 8 different sections in there that has stuff mounted on both sides. There's one with speakers and subwoofers, and there's tons of amplifiers. It's crazy. What you see is about maybe a tenth of what's actually on display. And then up in the attic, he's got boxes and boxes and boxes of old school stuff. This guy is, if you're an old school gear collector, this is the guy that you wish you were. Rick is the guy that you wish you were because he's got it all, dude. He's got a wicked bunch of cool stuff. Like I said, just look him up on Google. Rick's Car Audio, Crane, Missouri. Give him a call. He recently came down with the cancer. Me and him have a thing in common. And we had the last show we did down there was a benefit for him. Every single cent that was spent on anything there that day went to Rick in his pocket. He got a big old wad of cash at the end of the day put in his pocket, and he got a bunch of credit card sales and stuff that went into his bank account that day. We had raffles. People donated the stuff for the raffles, and all the stuff that was raised from that. It was multiple thousands of dollars we raised for Rick that day with bass, baby. Y'all got to appreciate that. So, if you guys want someone to do some cool stuff, if you want an old school cat that's into crazy old school stuff, maybe you're looking for an old school piece of gear. He might be willing to sell something. Call up Rick. Tell him CAE sent you, and he'll appreciate it. D said, do I use an SPL meter? Yes. I have one, and I have some videos of me using it. I haven't used it in a while. I've had multiple things going on in my life, and sometimes it gets complicated. I also have to take a trip. Usually I don't do much SPL burps out here in the yard. I do occasionally, though. But yeah, good times go. Good times all around. PSC said, I got to go. Wife has dinner. Well, go eat that, man. Don't make her mad. She'll mess you up, dude. She'll hit you with a speaker. Jason said, old cars really are death traps. Cool, though. Oh, yeah, 100%, man. I'm not saying they're not cool. Some of the designs, they put a lot of effort into making things different. One of the things that old school cars had going for them is they weren't all the same. You know, you could, from a distance, you could tell the difference between a Ford and a Chevy from a long distance away. Now today, you know, every car is a little egg-shaped, you know, hatchback, and every truck is way too tall and way too big. And this, what you got? You got these little egg-shaped hatchbacks, thousands of them, and then you got these really tall trucks that have really tall hoods and really tall everything. That's what there is today. There's no other thing out there. And back in the day, it was just a whole different story. That doesn't mean that they're not better. It just means that they don't. There's no real personality in them. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that they lost, was building vehicles different and taking chances and doing odd things. You know, you'll never see the Pinto or the Vega or the Hornet or the AMC Eagle or, you know, a Jeep. These things that are just totally different. You know, you don't see none of that stuff no more. The Rancheros and the El Caminos and great big, you know, huge woody wagons and stuff like that. You don't see that stuff anymore. Minivans are cool. Minivan is probably the most logical vehicle on the road. Honest to God, dude. Everybody on the planet should own a minivan because it's going to do 99% of what you need it to do better than anything else. And I need to get one. Mainly because I can easily get 4 18s in a wall in there. But of course, I can't have a minivan and not put subs in it. What the hell's wrong with you people? Any questions, guys? Anybody? I want to hear some questions. I need to answer questions. I'm running out of stuff to talk about. Y'all have to play along. This is a two. There's an N, there's an S at the end of Car Audio Enthusiast for a reason. Because it's not just me. There's a whole bunch of you idiots out there. And y'all give me the power to keep going. Beyond that, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll listen to a song. How about that? This is one I just released. I'm going to play it in the background. If y'all hadn't seen this video, it's on the YouTube. took me about 2 weeks to put this together, and I wrote all the lyrics to it. Have a listen.
Throw it in park as I open the door. Baby, you wait in the truck. Old photographs scattered on the ground. Take a breath and my mind gets stuck. I can hear the screams, I can hear it all. Is it all just in my head? This whiskey bottle is keeping me sane, but I'm stuck in the past that night in the rain. The night the werewolf came. Flashing in the headlights, eyes like a forest fire running out through the woods. Screaming through the treetops, crashing through the mountains. This guy is up to no good. My blood ran cold as my lights caught a flash of something out across the plains. I stood there staring at a blood-soaked human covered with fur in the rain. The night the werewolf came. The night he went insane. Bloodshed in the rain. Or the night the werewolf came. The crowd gathered round out there in the woods with guns all ready for war. Shots were fired at the big black beast. I can still hear him roar. The rain that night was a hell of a storm, and the blood ran cold as ice. But no one saw him hit the ground as he ran into the night. The night the werewolf came. The night he went insane. Bloodshed in the rain. On the night the werewolf came.
What do you guys think? Comments, baby. So what did you guys think of that? Curious to hear any feedback. I started out writing a song about going home. Um, Thanks, man. Um, I started out writing a song about going home after having been gone for a long time, and it just kind of evolved into that, and then kept evolving and kept evolving and kept evolving. Um, it's got some loud screeching guitars. Listen to the whole track. It's like the last video I uploaded, I think. You can hear the whole track on the YouTube channel there. Um, that was about 3/4 of it. Uh, oh, I know, dude. I know. I'm with you 100%. Like I said, I worked on that so hard. I do a lot of stuff like that, but it don't all make it to YouTube. Just Some stuff does, and some stuff doesn't. I have another one that I'm going to be putting up on YouTube when I get done with it. I'm not quite happy with it just yet, but it's kind of got a real like a 19 like a mid 90s Metallica sound to it. Really dynamic and clean, like the modern Metallica sound is, but kind of Pink Floyd mixed with Metallica, if you can imagine that. I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot better than mixing Pink Floyd and Metallica, right? That's kind of a match made in hell. So yeah, it's kind of like that. I don't know what the bass is like on it. And your question is the werewolf a metaphor? The answer is maybe. I'm not. I'm not. I'm personally don't know. I've thought about it quite a bit, whether or not I should clarify whether it was a metaphor or not. But I decided not to because it's kind of whatever you think it is. Um, Kind of like Hotel California. What does it mean? It means whatever you think it means, right? That's the way they intended it. And they wanted you to fill in the blanks. And it worked brilliantly. And so that's basically what I did. And, could it be that I am the werewolf? Could it be that I was fighting with myself? Could it be that I being the person that's singing the song, right? Or could it be that I'm actually fighting against a werewolf in the song? There's so many different options. And so it kind of wrote itself. I mean, I say that, yeah, it wrote itself. I mean, to me, it did because anytime I write a song, it writes itself. Once I started, it just keeps coming out, and I have to go back and scrub a little bit and rewrite it sometimes because it just came out wrong, and I have to get it fitted. And of course, writing a song for AI to perform requires a whole new set of skills. Because writing a song for a person to perform is one thing. Because you can tell the person, "Hey, you sing this like this," uh, dun 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 dun. Whereas the AI, you can't do that. So you have to give it something that automatically understands what you're trying to get it to do, or it's going to sing it all wrong. I mean, imagine giving an AI the lyrics to One from Metallica and then telling it to do it in a bluegrass style. It would, because it has no preconception of what it's supposed to sound like. Well, technically, it could find it and listen to it on the internet, but it doesn't really do that. It takes the lyrics and just goes, okay, well, I'll apply. So it just figures out how to make them fit in whatever it's doing. And so you have to do a lot of work to make that work. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. In fact, it would be infinitely easier for me to hand the music to a guitar player and a drummer and a vocalist or myself singing the vocals. I even pondered doing that because I couldn't get the AI to do what I wanted it to do. It'd be infinitely easier to have humans do it, but more expensive. So there's that. Anyway, um, Michael Smith, you must be the one that offered to buy my pods. Um, yeah, I mean, I'd sell them. I don't know. I don't remember what they go for, but keep up with me and throw it out there on the videos, uh, and we'll discuss it. But I'm gonna wait until I get going on it before once I pull them off the door panels. At that point, anything goes, and we'll discuss it. So I'm not opposed to that idea. I just haven't got into that far yet in my brain. And once I start on the door panels, though, that's when it's going. It's going to get real. D said, "I got to jump off, boys and gals. Have a wonderful night, and have a good one, D." Get with the program, man. Enjoy yourself. um, but yeah, I'm down with it. I just want to wait until the last minute because right now when I'm riding, that's what I'm listening to. Uh, and I got part of the stuff in. I got speaker grills in. I got sound deadener in. I got some epoxy in. Oh, that's another thing. It's not. I've got some epoxy. It's like the kind that you would use for a hobby, like if you're making an epoxy table or an epoxy guitar or whatever. I've got some of that stuff. It mixes different than fiberglass epoxy, and that it's a 1-to-1 mix where fiberglass epoxy is just a resin with the hardener. This stuff you mix it 50-50 and it, question, what's the difference? And second question, would that type of epoxy work with fiberglass? I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. It would absorb into the material and get hard, which is what epoxy does in fiberglass. The only thing I can see that fiberglass epoxy does differently is that it's it sets faster. It sets very fast, whereas this resin stuff takes 24 hours to sit. Uh, but if you think about it now, punch this around in your brain. What's the one thing about working with epoxy that's a real pain in the ass, or working with fiberglass? And that's the fact that it sets up really fast. So you have to get done quickly, and then everything turns hard within a couple of minutes. It's done. It's hard. It's useless. It has to be done fast. This stuff sets in 24 hours. There's tons of work time. As long as you got somewhere to sit it and let it cure, you could work with it for half an hour without any problem at all, and do your whole thing and make it all right. It's also a whole lot cheaper than fiberglass resin is. So I've got some. Um, and I'm going to test that idea because I can't think of any reason why it wouldn't work. I've also got some actual fiberglass resin coming, but I've got this stuff, and I may end up starting on this pretty quick. I got some rings coming for the speakers, but I may end up cutting my own because they're looking like they're not going to get here till like you know the 6th or the 8th or whatever of next month, and I need to have this thing up and running on the 7th of next month for a show. I don't want to miss a show. So yeah, I'm going to get out there with the jigsaw and just make my own damn rings. I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. But if you guys mess with fiberglass any, what do you know? Do you know if that'll work? I mean, why would it not work? Anyway, that's something I got in my brain. I got that stuff, and it comes. I think I gave like $40 for 2 half gallons. So essentially, that's $40 a gallon. Whereas regular fiberglass resin runs about $100 a gallon, and if you get the Sunflash is actually a little bit more expensive. It's like 130 or $140 a gallon or something, and that stuff you can work with it forever, and it UV cures. So you mix it up, or you don't mix it up, you just pour it on, brush it on, and then when you get done working with it, you put it in the sun, and it instantly sets. And it won't set until UV light hits it. That's really cool stuff, but it's also expensive. I can get 3 times as much of this other stuff, and it also mixes 50-50, which is easier to mix. I don't know. It just seems like it's going to work. I can't wait to try it. We're going to try something new. We're going to do something different. I'm going to do it, but since I can mix it up the way I can, I'm going to mix up a test piece, and I'm going to do a test piece before I go big. I want to make sure that's going to work. So, y'all stay tuned for the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button because we're going to be testing something new that'll make a really good budget alternative and also plenty of working time. The only downside is 24 hours to set up. So you got to work on it and wait till the next day to mess with it. You know. Um, But for now, guys, I have had a ton of fun. I always do. But for now, guys, we're going to have to bust out of here. And I'll see you guys live next Sunday. And I'm going to be going live on the 7th also, probably at the show. I can't promise anything. But if I get some feedback and if people want me to do it, I will. I'll go live at the show. This is the first GP show of the year. GP shows are always really good. So it's going to be good, man. Anyway, guys, for now, let's hit that duck, baby. Let's hit that duck.
Yeah. Yeah. Out here banging up and down the street, slamming that to the ground. Big subwoofers are getting loud. You can feel the booming sound. Getting ready to go. Got it shined up for the show. Hours charging, amps are amping, gonna let the woofers blow. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. We got more at home. Another one bites the dust. Fires are glowing and the amps smoking. Subs are cherry red. Let me keep jamming, gotta keep the bass slamming. Gonna go hard till they're dead. Full power, gotta let it go. 20 hertz in the floating air. Sparks are flying, voice coils are frying, and the smoke is in the air. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. Hey, we got more at home. Another one bites the dust.